Is it your first time as Toastmaster for an I'll drink to that meeting? Don't sweat! This chapter of Mentor in a Box provides you with a basic foundation on how to create and run an effective meeting at I'll Drink to That Toastmasters. Now there is a lot of material to cover, so we're going to break everything down into 3 separate episodes. The first episode is about what you should do when preparing for the meeting. The second episode demonstrates how transition statements help when running your meeting. The third episode gives pointers for presenting awards and wrapping up the meeting. As Toastmaster, you are also responsible for recognizing the best of the best from your meeting, and this is done by presenting awards. So let's throttle back a little bit, because this section to wrap up the meeting is very simple if you keep a few things in mind. On the night of the meeting, you need to make sure that you grab enough award certificates before the meeting begins. When it comes time, you need to present the awards in the right order. And you also need to know how to quickly pass the torch back to the president of the meeting. Now, grabbing enough award certificates does sound easy enough. There are 3 parts to a meeting. There are 3 points where members vote in the meeting, including the evaluation portion, and therefore you should only get 3 certificates, right? Well, this is a common mistake that many new Toastmasters make, because if there's ever a tie in one of the votes, you could be left scrambling to get another certificate, perhaps when someone else is speaking, causing an unnecessary distraction. So before the meeting begins, ask the Sergeant-at-Arms to grab for you at least 6 award certificates. This amount will prepare you for most ties as a result of the voting. The President will sit next to you during the meeting, and as votes come in, they'll help you fill them out. Now, when it comes to presenting the awards in the right order, keep in mind that traditionally, the club presents the awards starting with the best bar on topics, the best evaluator, the best prepared speaker. Another way of looking at this is that the awards are presented in the order starting with who presented the best 1-minute ad-lib response, who presented the best 3-minute immediate feedback, who presented the best 5 to 7-minute presentation. Although the times may vary, and they are all equally important, it has been the club's tradition to at least recognize the best prepared speaker last. As I'm sure you're aware, it takes a lot of time to prepare for a speech, so it's good form to use this format when presenting the awards. The third thing to keep in mind is that you need to know how to quickly pass the torch back to the president of the meeting. Now, passing the torch to the president starts when you're called back to the lectern by the general evaluator. Remember, like with any point you're called to the lectern, take time to thank the presenter and transition into the next section. It's here you'll begin presenting the awards. Don't forget those visual cues after announcing the winner. You will lead the applause and shake the recipient's hand. After giving them their certificate, you'll lead the applause again until they take their seat. You'll continue this format until all the awards are presented. Take a moment for closing remarks with a few quick sentences, and present the president back to the meeting by leading the applause, shaking their hand, and taking your seat. Here's an example of what passing the torch back to the president might sound like in the meeting. Thank you, Lewis, for doing a great job providing constructive feedback. We now move on to the awards section of the meeting. As you may remember, the vote counter collected votes throughout the meeting on whom you felt did the best when it came to bar-room topics, the evaluations, and prepared speeches. For best bar-room topics, you voted for Dean Martin. Did I not promise you a fun and exciting meeting? Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be your Toastmaster this evening. I now return control of the meeting back to our president, Harrison Ford. As a recap of the chapter, with thorough preparation, you can create and run an effective meeting for I'll Drink to That Toastmasters. As Toastmaster, you're aware that there are 3 parts to a meeting. There are 3 quick steps to prepare for the meeting, and there are 3 things to keep in mind when wrapping up the meeting. You're also aware that there are at least 9 transition statements you can use to run your meeting smoothly and on time. However, what's most important to remember is that you've been selected as Toastmaster because the members feel you're ready. We're all in this together, so don't sweat. Give your mentors a call if you have any questions. Review these episodes as many times as you need, and don't be afraid to ask for help. This is truly an exciting leadership role, and a great experience awaits you. So, let's get started.